I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing for the national anthem performed by our very own Serene Hamami.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming. And the rockets rang out, they bombs bursting and night, guide proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, you may be seated. Good evening, friends, family, alumni, teachers, and faculty. My name is Claire Ergood, and as Student Body President, it is my pleasure and honor to welcome you to the single most anticipated moment of the past 4 years. Welcome to the graduation commencement of Las Lomas' class of 2018. On August 25th, 2014, 1,383 days ago, we stepped foot on this campus for our first day of high school. Weighed down by heavy backpacks and fears as seniors, we embarked on a journey that we thought would last a lifetime. And at times, it did feel like a lifetime. But sitting here today, it feels like it went by in a flash. Gone are the days of begging your mom to sign you out of school. Gone are the hours of searching for Quizlets. Gone is the day of driving up to Sacramento to see your basketball team play in the state championship. And gone are the afternoons stuck in the Las Lomas parking lot. And as much as we may complain about some of those things, and as excited as we are to leave paper towel-less bathrooms behind, we can't go without thanking the many people that made this experience what it was. First, to our parents, guardians, or anyone who got us out of bed in the morning, congratulations, you did it. You got us through high school. We might be truant, but we're here. For the past 13 years, you have wiped our tears, packed our lunches, walked us to school, and written lots and lots of checks as we work toward this goal of completing our compulsory education. You have been the backbone of our lives from the beginning, and we wouldn't be here in this chair without you. And for that, we thank you. Next, to the Las Lomas staff, congratulations, you also did it. You somehow managed to get this class through with possibly a record number of fender benders in the lot, but in one piece nonetheless. Your tireless effort reading our papers, grading our work, and preparing us for the next step in our lives did not go unnoticed. As you know, your job goes past teaching us the Pythagorean theorem, but has continued contributed to our becoming almost functioning adults. As Maya Angelou once said, at the end of the day, people won't remember what you said or did. They will remember how you made them feel. We may forget the lessons, but we will never forget the feeling of being listened to and valued for our ideas. And finally, to you, class of 2018, thank you. At the end of the day, we helped raise each other. Some of us have been in this boat together since kindergarten, and others of us since the middle of sophomore year, but the impact has all been the same. The people to the left and to the right of you may not be your best friends, but they played a major role in your growing up and sometimes in your sanity. They're the people you hung out with on the weekends, the ones you saw in the halls, the ones who sent you the homework late at night, and the ones you were most excited to tell when you decided your plans for next year. So to each and every one of you, thank you. As you take this next step forward in your life, please don't forget the people you met, the lessons you learned, and the memories you made here in these halls. And as you continue on to wherever it may be, whether it be near or far, take these lessons with you and hold these memories close to your heart. Congratulations, class of 2018. You really made it. I am now so excited to introduce your senior class president, Sophie Wise.
Welcome to all the parents, relatives, teachers, friends, well-wishers, and curious passersby who are here with us today to celebrate our graduation. We couldn't have done it without you. That said, the rest of these remarks are not for you. They're for the class of 2018. Class of 2018, we made it! It has certainly been a long road, full of all kinds of twists and turns. From that first day of freshman year, getting lost on the way to class, forgetting our locker combinations, meeting so many new people, to now, dressed here in caps and gowns as the newest Las Lomas alumni. We've seen an awful lot. It is fitting that we kicked off this journey in Tomorrowland, looking toward the future and perhaps realizing that Las Lomas is the happiest place on earth. Then our path wound through Hollywood, opening our minds to the many roles we'd play and the places we'll go. Next, we traveled to Royale Street, realizing that all roads lead to Las Lomas. And last of all, we found ourselves down the rabbit hole. Has this place been a fantasy? I think so. It's definitely been a wild ride, and our road has led us through many interesting places and treacherous paths. Now, another road begins. Standing at this crossroad and looking forward, I think of when Alice asked the Cheshire Cat, "Which way should I go?" To which he replies, "Well, that depends on where you want to get to." And I can look at the path behind us and see 3 life lessons I learned here at Las Lomas that can guide us on the next journey. They are: be brave, be happy, and be yourself. First of all, be brave. This is something all of you have experienced doing, whether it was giving your first presentation in class or the first time a teacher called on you and you were, well, maybe not quite totally prepared, and then you gritted your teeth and pushed through. And it all worked out. Maybe not perfectly, but you were better for the effort. You were brave. You all know that our Las Lomas varsity boys basketball team made it to the state tournament this year. It's true that we didn't win that final game, but even so, it was the most enjoyable ride, and not just for the team. It was so fun for all of us to share in their success and effort and to cheer them on. #Goon Squad. Just imagine how boring it would have been if they had seen the end from the beginning and decided not to try, if they had never taken the risks and put in the work that got them to state in the first place. Luckily, they weren't afraid to fail. Take that shot, even if it's a long 3-pointer and LaMelo Ball's cousin is charging at you. Our highest moments are only reached because we dare to take risks, so take them. Be brave. Second, be happy. I know, easy to say, but not always easy to do. Some have had family issues. Some have had social problems. Some have felt lonely. All of us have felt like we were drowning in difficult classes, homework, projects, and extracurriculars. But even in these moments of sadness and stress, even in the moments when we felt completely overwhelmed, there have appeared the flickers of joy that remind us that the path is still there. I know for me, I felt joy watching people grill burgers in the parking lot during the senior prank, LOL, sorry, admin, listening to the pep band jam out at the games, and attending Hensley's shows. It is true that life will be hard. We are all going to struggle. We will all wonder where our lives are heading. We will all have many moments where we are stressed out and hearing the voices around us saying nothing but, wake up, you need to make money. But if we reach for these flickers of joy, if we open ourselves up to new experiences as we did here at Las Lomas and strive to keep a positive attitude, we truly can be happy regardless of what's happening around us. As my favorite bearded wizard once said, aka Albus Dumbledore, happiness can be found even in the darkest of times if one only remembers to turn on the light. So turn on that light, feel joy, be happy. Lastly, and most importantly, be yourself. To truly be yourself can sometimes be one of the most difficult things we will ever do. Maybe you have felt pressured by trends at school or friends to dress or act a certain way, but we are off on a new path. This is the perfect time, the perfect new start, the perfect commencement to transition into being your genuine you. Explore your interests, your passions, your talents. Discover what makes you, you. I know that for Reese Lieberman, it has been rock climbing. For Marissa LaPointe, it has been being an activist. And for Hannah Portner, it has been dressing in rainbow clothes and being a painter. And the truth is, those may not be the things that define Reese and Marissa and Hannah forever. But when you choose to be yourself, you're honest and genuine and true you, all changes are good. All paths lead to your beautiful road. Las Lomas is made great not by activities, not by victories, and certainly not by homework and tests. It is made great by individuals, so be yourself. Class of 2018, you have already started to make your mark. We have held walkouts. We have spoken up for the things that matter to us. We have shown compassion towards others. I know that high school has been very different for each of us. Some have really enjoyed high school, and others can't wait for me and everyone else here to stop talking so these 4 years can finally be over, and of course, so we can watch the Warriors game. But no matter what it's been for you, I want to express that I love you guys and know the great world out there is about to be enormously blessed by your participation and presence in it. Are you ready for your blessings? Are you ready for your miracle? Because they are coming. Be brave, be happy, and be yourself, class of 2018. That beautiful road ahead is all yours. And now I would like to turn the time over to our principal, Miss Tiffany Benson.
Ooh. This might be the only time that I'm taking full billing away from the Warriors, so I really need to bask in it right now. Thank you guys so much for coming out and joining us here this evening to celebrate the amazing class of 2018. It has been with great pleasure and honor to join the school as principal with such a fantastic class to guide my way. It is not just the students sitting before me that we are here to honor. We also celebrate the teachers, staff, coaches, and most of all, parents and families who have guided them and walked beside them as they grew from grinning kindergartners to energetic preteens to the mature, responsible adults we see today. Well, mostly mature and responsible. In preparing for this evening, I thought it would be a fitting tribute to such a digital and tech-savvy group to reminisce about some of the fun inventions and events that have happened in your lives. So I went to Aries, our trusty student database, and I realized that most of you sitting here in front of me were actually born in the year 2000. This is horrible. I realized that I wasn't just born in a different decade than you, I was born in a different century. My email address is older than you are. So I had to scrap that idea. And I started getting sentimental. I was really struck by the fact that this is called a commencement address. Commencement means to begin, to start something new. But for all of us here sitting in the audience, this is not a beginning at all. It is an ending. It is an ending to seeing you walk into our classrooms full of questions and thoughtful comments. It's an ending to coaching you on the court and on the field. And it is an ending to watching you perform and entertain. It is the end of our formal mentorship. And for your families, it's an even bigger ending. For many, it is the end of waking up and seeing you sitting at the breakfast table or greeting you when you come home late from a night with friends. Today may be the beginning of adulthood, but please forgive us if we have a few tears too for the endings that we are seeing today. Because honestly, we will miss you. It has been our pleasure, our honor, and our great purpose to walk alongside you as you grow and learn. So although there is a tinge of sadness around our great joy today, we thank you for letting us come on this journey with you, however briefly. Now you must prepare to continue into the world, because today is your commencement. It is the beginning of something new and exciting. It's strange to think that all of your schooling up until now has been prologue. But please remember that the prologue sets the tone and context for the rest of the story. The lessons, friendships, and accomplishments that you have earned in these first 18 years will be with you the rest of your lives. We will be with you, like Yoda, in spirit, even when we're far away. I also know that you are ready for what comes next. You have prepared, you have overcome challenges, and you have acted with genuine kindness and generosity. So if you're ever in doubt, if you are ever feeling unprepared, ever feeling like you can't do it, please remember, you are the class that brought the biggest crowd ever to cheer on our boys basketball team at state. You are the class that overcame fires and smoke to hold a memorable homecoming bash. You are the class that rallied to end school violence. And you are the class that came together to support each other through the tumultuous years of high school. You are the class that showed me the ropes and what it means to be a knight. And for that, I will be forever grateful. So knights, today you will graduate. You will leave us and you will go forth into the world to make magic happen. I know you can do it because you already have. Congratulations, graduates. I'm so proud of you. I would like to welcome Sabrina Dudoil to the stage for the first of our 2 senior addresses.
Congratulations, class of 2018. I don't know what's more of an accomplishment, receiving my high school diploma or getting through my senior year without receiving a truancy letter. I want to begin by thanking all the people who made this day possible for me and the graduating class. Teachers and faculty, thank you for your constant support and guidance throughout our years here, helping us not only learn the material, but also learn valuable lessons about life and the world beyond high school. Parents and families, we appreciate your unconditional love and encouragement, which shaped us into the young women and men that sit before you today. We treasure everything you've done for us, and we will keep you in our hearts throughout these next chapters of our lives. The day that marks the end of our pain and suffering is finally upon us. No, I'm kidding, kinda. The first day of high school, I had no idea what to expect. Okay, maybe I had a bit of an idea, but that mostly consisted of abrupt musical numbers in the cafeteria about sticking to the status quo, or Saturday detentions where people from different cliques become friends. You know, all the inaccuracies movies fill our heads with about what high school is really like. I was either incredibly stupid or incredibly naive, and I like to think it's the latter. Although it would have been unbelievable to see our basketball team perform Get Your Head in the Game, making it to state was amazing. Good job. I feel Las Lomas has given us what these expectations would not have: reality and preparation for what is coming as we continue on into life after high school. Whether it be university, college, taking a gap year, or navigating through uncharted territory, we have gained so much knowledge that will guide us in our adult life. And I don't just mean that we now know how to graph a parabola or what year the Berlin Wall fell. It's so much more than that. Think back to your freshman self. I know, cringe. But seriously, when I think about that awkward 14-year-old girl who once dropped a pencil under an upperclassman's desk and decided it was better to sit through class without a pencil than to ask him to please pick it up, I barely recognize her. And I'm sure a lot of you can relate. Maybe you weren't as cringy as me, but I'm sure we've all attained so much more confidence in ourselves since then. Confidence that Las Lomas fostered. Confidence which allowed us all to become leaders, from club presidents and varsity athletes to straight-A students and those making sure their voices are heard in the world. Confidence that will make the road to success so much easier. And usually the end game is success, right? But how do you define success? Are you successful if you earn a lot of money, have a family, graduate college? For me, success is defined by happiness. Are you content in life? If the answer is yes, you're there, you're successful. I know, a little cheesy, but I've realized that I'm most happy and feel most accomplished when I'm working on things I'm passionate about. And that's part of high school, finding and experimenting with subjects that interest you. And I thought that was just high school, but I recently realized that we don't have to compartmentalize our lives. There's no set plan you have to follow in life. Learning and creating are things we can continue to do, even after we think we can or that we're too old to start mastering some new interesting subject. We are constantly growing and changing, as are our interests and ideals. Have you ever heard the phrase, "the world is your oyster"? It is. The world is your oyster. And all this energy right now and excitement in the air is fuel for your futures. I truly believe they will burn bright, as long as you keep chasing after your dreams and passions. Of course, there is also a reality, and that reality is that in life there are always going to be hardships and things we just don't want to do, like waking up at 5 a.m. to finish homework. Thank God those days are over. However, those experiences are just as important, as they allow us to savor all the other amazing experiences we are going to have. One of my favorite teachers, Mrs. Rigasich, once said, "If you can't get out of it, get into it." Meaning if you have to do something you don't want to do, find a way to incorporate one of your passions into the task. Doing what you love will lead you to happiness and ultimately success. 4 years ago, I moved to Walnut Creek from Houston. After the first day of school, when I came home missing my life in Houston, I remember my mom asking me, "Was this the right decision?" I can now say, "Mom, it was the best decision." The memories I've had, all the friends I've made, and the experiences are irreplaceable. I honestly believe there is no better place for a teenager to grow up, and I will forever be grateful to Las Lomas I will forever be grateful for the positive community and people Las Lomas provided and the way to shape me into who I am today. Thank you.
Thank you for those memorable remarks, Sabrina. Now please welcome Nessa Ordakani for our final student address.
Hello, students, families, friends, and faculty. My name is Nessa and welcome to graduation. Before I commence this speech, I'd like you all to know that when the opportunity to speak at graduation arose, I was ecstatic for the chance to say absolutely anything I wanted to say in front of all of you. That notion was quickly abandoned, however, once I realized that we don't receive our diplomas until after the speeches, so. Anyway, without further ado, I'll begin with my letter to Las Lomas. Dear Las Lomas, well, this is it. 4 years of pulling into your overcrowded parking lot, and pretty soon it will all be over. I have to tell you though, like Sabrina, in no way whatsoever did High School Musical prepare me for this. I expected more from Troy Bolton and Gabriela Montez, and as much as I love to pop and lock and jam, I guess it just never happened at lunch. That being said, the film did get one thing right about our class. We're all in this together. Now I know what you're thinking. All in this together, you guys are more mixed than trail mix. But in a way, it's true. I don't mean that we're all best friends singing Kumbaya and whatnot, but it is precisely our differences and our individuality that creates this chaotic cohesion. It was together that we walked past your menacing gray walls 1,383 days ago. And it is together now that we walk past them for the last time, on to the next chapter of our lives. Freshman year was a whirlwind of new experiences, and I remember it like it was 4 years ago. While for ages, you were a fearsome beast that loomed over us, we were excited to dive into the lion's den and to never run the Wednesday mile again. No longer did we have to cross the two bridges joining the halves of WCI, no. Now we had to traverse something far more treacherous, the rally corp. Or if you were like me, you'd just go around it. Your teachers, then ours, taught us what the next few years would look like, and we tied our laces preparing to sprint to the end. And as I reflect on those past years, I cannot help but wonder what our freshman selves would say if they could see us now at the finish line. Of course, there was quite a bit of racing we had to do before arriving here. Sophomore year, the middle child of high school, came next. By now we were used to your crowded halls, we were familiar with the sound of Mr. Taylor's golf cart whizzing by, and we all knew the sight of Mr. Greenwood eating his sandwich out front during lunch. Sprinkled with both good and bad moments, sophomore year was the year we experienced our first AP classes, and also the year we stomped across the field victoriously after winning Powerpuff for the first time. Like all years of high school, it wasn't perfect, but it was a time to grow, not just as students, but as human beings. We witnessed the creation of small communities of people in each of your classrooms, all dedicated to learning, be it English or math or art. We learned that learning isn't easy. It's convoluted and messy and can only be realized through hard work and desire. This was an important lesson because the next year, junior year, is affectionately referred to as the most difficult year of high school. Whether my classmates agree with this statement or not, I think it's safe to say that it was certainly something new. College was creeping up, and we all faced the most imposing nightmare of all, the SAT and the ACT. I took my test with you, Las Lomas, in the 500 wing. I recall drearily climbing up those steps at 7:30 a.m. on a Saturday, witnessing the stress roll off other students in waves as they waited anxiously for the doors to open. While in the moment, it may have seemed as if those tests were going to make or break our futures, I realize now that a number does not define me or any of my classmates. No number could ever measure the giddiness we felt on the first day of high school, or the fear we had when we were caught going to Whole Foods during class. No number could ever measure our ability to laugh too loudly or to dance maniacally at junior prom. In a few years, we won't remember any of the A's or F's we received. Don't get me wrong, grades are important, but what will truly matter is the passion with which we strived and the dedication with which we threw every ounce of our being into something. Armed with this new knowledge, we strode into senior year, veterans of the war that high school inevitably is. To be honest, I always thought that being a senior would mean being the top dogs of the school, but the truth is that I still sometimes get shoved by freshmen in the hallways, and I've cried more than once during the process of college applications. Sitting on the senior lawn means nothing once you realize that it's just a patch of grass. Seniors don't rule anything. We've just gotten to know you really, really well. We've made friends and memories to last a lifetime, and we know your familiar hallways like the backs of our hands. I know how much an overpriced Rice Krispie treat from the vending machine costs, $1.50. And I know which one of your bathrooms is most likely to have soap. Surprise, it's none of them. Despite all the ups and downs that you've thrown at us, it is under your roof that we became the people we are now. But every roller coaster comes to an end, and we finally reach the platform to step off. The real world is next. Las Lomas, you may have been a zoo, but now we're entering the jungle, and the world should be ready, because when I look out at those here, I see people who are so not ready for the world, but that's okay. Because no one ever is. Even still, we are armed with enough wisdom and enough foolishness to take the world by storm. I see people who know that failure is not a door closing, but rather another opening, and I thank you for allowing us to stumble to our feet. As we all go our separate ways, I plan on tripping and falling and getting back up, because nothing worth anything ever comes easily. And though this letter is to you, Las Lomas, as parting words, I'd like to address my classmates. I want to remind you all not to forget this place, because whether you hated it and can't wait to get out, or you loved it and never want to leave, it's the last place you're really a child. That being said, it doesn't have to be the last place you're a kid. In the words of French author Antoine de Saint-Exupéry, all grown-ups were once children, but only few of them remember it. So be the few who remember it and don't grow up too fast. Hold on to your youth and go on to the world as you are with the lessons you've learned in this place. Hopefully they serve you well. Finally, thank you, Las Lomas. Best wishes.
Thank you, Nessa. Just as our student speakers are chosen by students, our students choose a faculty speaker who is also nominated. It is a privilege and a high recognition to be selected as the faculty speaker. Without further ado, please welcome Miss Emily Gunnison to the stage.
A couple of weeks ago, I got to go to my 20-year college reunion on the East Coast. I took an overnight flight into New York, and early the next morning, as we descended, I got to look out at a view of the west side of Manhattan. After being so used to San Francisco, I think New York looks impossibly big. And when you see it from the sky, you know that there are a gazillion people down there, and it's all just sort of pulsing with life. So we're nearly at the tip of Manhattan, headed into Newark, and suddenly I see the Statue of Liberty just chilling there on her little island in this brilliant early morning light. And I swear to God, it's like she's so regal with her arm thrust up in the air. Welcome, love, defiance, hope. So hold on to that image for a second. The Statue of Liberty, 7 a.m., beginning of a perfect late spring day in New York. Walnut Creek is not, of course, New York, by any stretch of the imagination. And a lot of people around here like to think that we live in a bubble, that our community, our school, is somehow so profoundly different from the country out there that we can actually perceive our own existence differently. We can see other parts of the country struggle with racial tension. We can see other people grapple with the logistics and heartbreak of immigration. Who stays? Who goes? We can see the vitriol of divided politics and economic disparity, but it's really easy for some of us to say, oh, but not here. To claim that we are in a bubble is to deny the experiences of people we know and love. To say that students of color might encounter racism elsewhere, but not here, is to discount the very real hurt that your friends and peers have suffered here. We can't say we're protected by a bubble, when in your time at Las Lomas, we sat on this exact field waiting for police dogs to search the school after a threat against black students was written on the bathroom walls. To imagine that immigration problems only exist out there or at a border is to negate the worry of those among us who ask, will I be able to go to college, get a job because of my immigration status? To suggest that Walnut Creek is simply a wealthy bedroom community is to brush aside the daily simmering panic of those of you who have worked through high school not out of desire, but out of a need to help support your families. Walnut Creek is not a neat and floating bubble. No one here leads a charmed and perfect life. You might be able to hold on to that bubble idea sometimes, but it's going to be way more honest if you consider that maybe we aren't in that bubble after all. Bubbles are sanitized and quiet and floating and rootless. Is that really what you want? I want to go back to that story of the Statue of Liberty. We left her standing there on a gleaming morning. Let's see her again. At her feet is a plaque bearing the words of a poem many of us know well. Of course, I couldn't see it from the air, but the whole deal with the Statue of Liberty is that poem at her feet. Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to breathe free, the wretched refuse of your teeming shore. For 132 years, that woman has stood there in New York Harbor as evidence of the promise that somehow we all belong. However, that doesn't mean for 1 second that any of this is easy. But this struggle and this acknowledgement of difficulty is the epitome of the American experience, and that includes California and the Bay Area and Walnut Creek. We need to figure out how we all fit together. I have another story for you. 4 years ago, I talked my way into getting to be the one who actually pulled the fire alarm for a fire drill. I have to say, it was probably the highlight of my teaching career. You guys are great and all, but this was really next level. If you have ever wanted to be one of those people to pull that lever, I can tell you, it was everything you thought it would be. There's this really satisfying clunk as the handle engages. But the best part was totally unexpected. There's a really long delay, like 1,000, 1,000, between pulling the handle down and then hearing the alarm. It's that pause that is so extraordinary. I think I could have sat in that forever. There's this inevitability of what is to come, but also the unknowing of when it will. I was shaking all the way to the football field where I met my class. Anyway, don't pull a fire alarm. The point is not to gloat that I have, although I am totally doing that too. I don't want you to pull a fire alarm, but I do want you to find the places that create for you those fraught and magical pauses, like the one between pulling the alarm and hearing it. This pause is the stepping out of the bubble. This pause is the gap between assuming that everything is how you have always assumed it is, and the realization that maybe there is actually another narrative that you have missed altogether. When you reject that bubble, you get to look at what it means to be who you are in this world. Sometimes you are in the huddled masses. The Statue of Liberty is beckoning. And sometimes you will have to be the one who will help her extend that beacon, pushing the light into the darkest corners of our country to offer hope to the ones who are most vulnerable and in peril. Find the places in your life where you step intentionally from the safe to the unknown. Therein lies the thrill. You actually already know this thrill in really small ways. You know this pause, even if you haven't given it a name. It's familiar and it's exhilarating. Here's one. You know that moment when the basketball leaves Jason Holman's hands for that impossible high arcing journey? That really long pause before its arrival at the basket for 3 points is what makes it so gratifying. It's the pause when Serene Hamami takes a breath before the rocket's red glare in her national anthem. It's the moment you decide to actually break that super awkward silence in a fishbowl and say, but why? The thing is, the Las Lomas basketball team would never have gone to a state championship if Nate and Robert and Devin and Jason and Cash and all those guys had just stood around holding the ball. We wouldn't be so thrilled by the return of Serene's voice if she didn't give us that tiny beat of silence. You wouldn't learn anything without giving into your curiosity. It's always safer to stay in the known, but how could you say you had truly lived? Here's a third story. Recently, there was an ELD party during Academy. ELD students brought food from their home countries. Pho from Vietnam, wara enib from Kuwait, muhalabili kadayif from Turkey. Students talked about what they had brought, and then everyone milled around tasting things. During the milling around time, one of my students, who is Kurdish and lived in Turkey before moving to the US, came over. There was, he said, a girl over there eating baklava with chopsticks. In Turkey, you don't eat baklava with chopsticks. There was a literal pause as he thought about this. For my student, this was one micro popping of the bubble. When you see that someone eats baklava with chopsticks, you can also see that it's a perfectly acceptable way of eating it. I know that re-examining our own narratives and getting uncomfortable and fussing with conflict is really hard. It's so much easier to just deny it and to continue to float. I teach seniors, or I did until today, and I know that there is a lot of behavior that we chalk up to senioritis. It is a condition that is as mythical as that weird thing that you guys call senior ditch day. I mean, I get it. You are tired and bored. You can't see the relevance anymore in the things that you do. Everything feels annoying and trite and without purpose. I can't tell you how many of my seniors told me that they were just done. They hated school. They couldn't wait to get out of here. Actually, I can tell you, it was 62, because that's how many seniors I had. The thing is, there is not some sort of magical fairy dust that will settle on you to give you the courage to really experience the discomfort of the day-to-day messiness, where your sense of what is right or true comes in direct conflict with someone else's. You won't get that courage tonight when you get your diploma, or when you get another in 4 or 6 or 10 years. You're kind of on your own for that. And if you want to tell yourself that bubble narrative, it'll be easy enough for some of you to hold on to that, if that's how you choose to see the world. I just think it's going to be a little dull. Instead, it seems way cooler to look east to the Statue of Liberty, our friend on the pedestal, to embrace the ways in which life is complicated and just hard. Look for the way to not only be the bearer of that torch, but also the way that gives you the vulnerability to be the one that the Statue of Liberty is summoning. The last line of the Statue of Liberty's poem is this: I lift my lamp beside the golden door. I may be an English teacher, and that may be a poem, but I don't know what's beyond that door. Let's grab hold of that discomfort of not knowing and go find out. It seems possible that there is room enough for all of us. Class of 2018, I will miss you. I hold you in my heart. Good luck out there.
Thank you, Ms. Gunnison, for those thoughtful words. At the Senior Awards Night, we had the pleasure of honoring a great number of students who received scholarships, awards, and other significant recognitions. Included in that evening were many students who were selected for life membership in the California Scholarship Federation, CSF. This selection was based on academic achievement through the end of the first semester of this year. Students earning this honor are wearing yellow cords. Now, would all life members please stand and be recognized? Thank you. It is now my pleasure to introduce a member of our governing board, Ms. Kathy Coppersmith, and a member of our district leadership, Ms. Julie Batista. Ms. Coppersmith will be assisting in the presentation of diplomas. Ms. Coppersmith, Claire, and Sophie, would you please join me on stage? And now the part we've all been waiting for. We made it.
Yara Abdelghani.
Katie Adams.
Amit Ahituv.
Christian Augustin.
David Amor.
Elizabeth Allen.
Jacob Aronovich.
Aphilis Araya.
Andrew Avanesian.
Sarush Arjumandi.
Nicholas Baldetti.
Lauren Baird.
Brianna Bonsaraj.
Nikki Bonifatemi.
Emma Wallace.
Cameron Bastable.
Alicia Tevez.
Alexis Beasley.
Sienna Terry.
Caitlin Beasley.
Tanvi Saran.
Emily Mott.
Sophia Monroy.
Quinn Griffin.
Isabel Bartling.
Benjamin Johansson.
JC Liu.
Seth Bowers.
Erica Worthen.
Christopher Whittington.
Andy Takashi.
Keegan Pearson.
Maria Carino Sosa.
Angelina Gage.
Karina Hagigi.
Layla Omro.
Jonathan Smith.
Grace Fernstrom.
Ava Johnson.
Nicholas Bossert.
Alyssa Garris.
Nessa Orticani.
Kiana Welty.
Savrine Dudwall.
Amanda Portier.
Serene Hamami.
Catherine Conlin.
Orion Beckman.
Emily Barrera.
Marley Berg.
Isabella Beal Garcia.
Jason Bigham.
Kira Becker.
Isabella Bachman.
Sasha Benditsky.
Stefan Bokarik.
Nathan Basin.
Laurencia Bridget.
Nicholas Bland.
Taylor Brown.
Haley Bonner.
Camille Cabuncle.
David Bonner.
Avery Caldwell.
Courtney Branch.
Mercedes Candelaria Weiss.
Georgia Bravi.
Jennifer Castaneda Zaragoza.
Sophia Brown.
Juan Castro.
Kimiko Burke.
Linda Kavanaugh.
Sonali Kane.
Yukai Chen.
Camila Campos Juarez.
Sophia Ciatola.
Kayla Carter.
Luca Clunin.
Daniel Castro.
Caleb Conrad.
Caitlin Castro.
Mark Corsetti.
Yim Chen.
Mackenzie Cotton.
Christopher Chi.
Aurora Da Silva.
Nathaniel Clements.
Monkyils Devosserin.
Pamela Rose Coloma.
Daniel DiMontero.
Kira Cooper.
Keith Deemer.
Madison Cortesis.
Lauren Dixon.
Kelly Cox.
Sean Duncan.
Travis Cox.
Namna Ertembulag.
Tony Damarenchin.
Kate Farrell.
Jordan Andrew De La Rea.
Bailey Ferris.
Ethan Daniel De Vera.
Betsy Fakir.
Zijan Deng.
Samin Fraz.
Emily Diekman.
Julianne Galanti.
Renata Duffy.
Alyssa Gardinell.
Dina Elmosarif.
Hope Garrigan.
Andrea Fajardo Morales.
Kira Glass.
Peruz Faraduni.
Elisa Gomez.
Carson Farrow.
Andrew Graham.
Valerie Friedman.
Anna Greer.
Janine Fangula.
Jaime Guerrera.
Jesus Garcia Castaneda.
Sophia Gralnick.
Harrison Gardner.
Olivia Hall.
Kaylee Gillette.
Alexandra Hansen.
Cash Gobier.
Liam Hill.
Timothy Grabo.
Matthew Hitomi.
Enzo Gravino.
Jason Holman.
Ronan Gruby.
Cody Howard.
Eduardo Guerrero.
Marshall Howell.
Lindsay Hack.
Samantha Huff.
Tyler Hannes.
Isabella Iantorno.
Creighton Hare.
Lauren Ivankovich.
Sophia Hilzebeck.
Ian Jackson Little.
Maxwell Holm.
Wyatt Jepson.
Nicole Hoven.
Nicolette Cafetas.
James Howe.
Philip Karparov.
Christy Hu.
Natalie Kiefer.
Ryan Hughes.
Min Jae Key.
Mikhailo Ignatiev.
Jake Lugo.
Haneen Jabber.
Nam Ji Kim.
Michael Jacobson.
Jasmine Knittel.
Trevor Johnston.
Maxim Kolesnikov.
Annalisa Campbell.
George Kondratov.
Jennifer Katzer.
Sophie Kurland.
Shireen Campsey.
Marissa Lapointe.
Jack Killeran.
Jolie Laufenberg Gint.
Alexandra Kimwell.
Kevin Lee.
Jane Casilia.
Yuna Lee.
Trevor Knudsen.
Manlisa Lee.
Menelaus Kolyavas.
Stella Lykin.
Jackson Kravitz.
Trisha Leong.
Nicole Krasowska.
Reese Lieberman.
Jenna Larson.
Cole Lapelt.
Brandon Lawrence.
Caitlin Logan.
Bo Leach.
Hallie Lloyd.
Michelle Lee.
Connor Lyon.
Lindsay Legate.
Delaney McGinn.
Tessa Leonard.
Parsa Maj Boulet.
Kari Lewis.
Sam Manii.
Christopher Lim.
Joshua Marquez.
Alex Legato Wong.
Isabella Martellino.
Alessandra Lawrence.
Amanda Martinez.
Christian Luke Velasquez.
Harris Masterson.
Portia Magdaleno.
Ify Mbeladago.
Simone Mayer.
Trey McCoy.
Leas Makudi.
Dominic McConey.
Antonio Margiota.
Sarah Melendez Fekay.
Sarah Marcy.
Jessica Myers.
Brittany Martin.
Ethan Milan.
Alexander Massady.
Isaac Milan.
Geneva Mays.
Andrew Milne.
Ava McCandless.
Christopher Mitchell.
Ryan McLeod.
Joseph Morton.
Jessica Mealy.
Andrew Murch.
Marquez Jans Mendoza.
Joseph Nakau.
Maya Meza.
Evan Nolan.
Simone Milan.
Kyle O'Brien.
Elias Miramontes Perez.
Nicole O'Leary.
Kishir Moradpur.
Anna Ostrander.
Claire Muldoon.
Mackenzie Owens.
Julia Muldoon.
Brianna Paclabar.
Gayatri Nagnoir.
Ryan Partovi.
Mary Claire Newsom.
Devin Payne.
Francesca Novero.
Sonia Pendry.
Shingo O'Flaherty.
Matthew Piper.
Alan Osmansevich.
Kelly Plant.
Madison O'Toole.
Orion Pohl.
Vioma Oza.
Hannah Portner.
Corydon Papas.
Robert Prince.
George Pauline.
Dylan Quarangi.
Rose Peckham.
Shanaz Rakim Janova.
Sadie Peters.
Harry Ree.
Max Pivovarov.
Mark Rubelt.
Jesse Placencia.
Juliette Razai.
Ephraim Porter.
Lydia Ryder.
Maria Preciado.
Michaela Rivera Hartman.
Jeremiah Purdy.
Tomer Rhoda.
Hannah Radmanesh.
Alexander Roel.
Miles Ramos.
Rebecca Romero Ochoa.
Andrew Reese.
Sophia Runty.
Noah Reyes.
Esmeralda Sandoval.
Dylan Ree.
Camila Schneider Rodriguez.
Harley Rivera.
Jared Schoen.
Nathan Robinson.
Jesse Schultz.
Jocelyn Rodriguez.
Kamel Sethi.
Salma Romero.
Nathan Shin. You're in the wrong order.
Edward Rosa.
Colette Shaw.
Joseph Saavedra.
Kate Siegel.
Gotham Sathison.
Charles Smith.
Casey Schnicker.
Alex Sokolova.
Faith Shu.
Peter Stavcheski.
Christopher Sharafian.
Madeline Stiefvater.
Lucy Shaw.
Justin Sun.
Carlina Siegel.
Max Swinson.
Lauren Simons.
Yassine Tantawi.
Neil Smith.
Mark Taylor.
Gabby Spencer.
Dylan Tebow.
Emma Stevenson.
Emma Thompson.
Molly Stewart.
Alexis Tanea Cole.
Courtney Sutherland.
Julia Toon.
Tengiz Tamira.
Isabella Turek.
Julia Charter.
Lupita Valladolid.
Riley Terrell.
Dylan Van Mierlo.
Kelsey Thompson.
Sohail Vanny.
Zinyu Tion.
Shreya Venkatesan.
Joseph Toman.
Komal Verdi.
Jacob Toretta.
Nicole Wathy.
Sean Untesu.
Andrew Wirtz.
Jacob Van Loo.
Alexis Went.
Christopher Venegas.
Jeremy Wickbolt.
Jonna Vendrell.
Jalen Williams.
Alexa Joan Villaruz.
Stephen Wong.
Annika Watson.
Griffin Wooldridge.
Sydney Weaver.
Megan Worthington.
Fiona Weingartner.
Jesse Yang.
Andrew Westhafer.
Jamie Young.
Grant Winker.
John Young.
William Scott Wilson. Joshua Wood. Alyssa Worsham. Abigail Yakubov. Natalie Yates. Justin Yoon. Nathan Zhu.
Sophie Wise.
Claire Ergood.
What a good-looking class. Well, remember that pause that Miss Gunnison was talking about earlier? That moment dripping with anticipation? You're in that moment right now. Sophie and Claire are coming.
Graduates, please stand. Receiving our diplomas is the first step in becoming high school graduates. As president of the senior class, I will now lead the class in the second step, that of moving our tassels from the right to the left side of our graduation caps.
By the power vested in me, in accordance with the statutes and codes of the state of California, as principal of Las Lomas High School, under the accreditation of the Acalanes Union High School District, I certify that this class has completed and fulfilled all academic requirements suitable for graduation. I hereby graduate the Las Lomas class of 2018. Congratulations! Thank you for attending and have a wonderful summer.